Hey everybody, Scott Jansen here. In this video, I want to talk about coaching after hypnosis. I often get asked this question: what coaching did I give my clients? How did I do it? What tasks did I give them? And in this video, I want to answer this very, very quickly because the process is very, very simple. So let's all get on the same page and talk about some possible examples of what you might do to coach your clients after the session, with the idea that maybe it's going to enhance the session, get them a better outcome, speed up the breakthrough, whatever it is. So let's look at some quick examples that are pretty common amongst therapists and coaches. So these could be like goal setting. So you might do a session on, I don't know, it could be like anxiety, could even be goal setting, could be moving forward in life, getting a better job, whatever it is. And then once the hypnosis is all settled down, the afterglow is settled down and all that stuff, you then might have your client do some goal setting and help them achieve these things, have like a 30-day goal setting chart, whatever it is. Goal setting seems to be pretty popular. Number two, it might be like a to-do list. Maybe your client's got a list of things that they just don't want to attempt because it seems too difficult. You might have them achieve that. Number three, maybe finding the right solution. So with the idea that once you've done the hypnosis, the mind is really open for suggestions. So helping them find the right solution for them might be a way to coach your clients after the therapy. Might be reaching the goal. Might be like some short-term and long-term goals that they want to reach. Number five is maybe setting some brand new goals. Maybe the goals they had just weren't appropriate for them. They weren't achieving them because maybe it really wasn't what they wanted at an unconscious level. There was a conflict there. So setting something new might be a way to coach them. So when I was asked, do I ever coach a client after hypnosis? Let's have a look at what I did. Oh, sorry, it could also be journaling, audios, homework, etc. To have your client, reach that breakthrough in a faster time. So again, back to what I was saying before, did I ever coach my clients? I never, ever, ever coach my clients. I never gave coaching, or do I recommend therapists do it? It's one of the first things we talk about in our ACH trainings, which is don't have your client don't have your clients go looking for a solution. Don't give them any coaching. Don't give them any extra sessions. Definitely don't give them the audios and homework. That's just verbatim anyway. We never want to do that anyway. But as far as finding them going out looking for a solution, you actually want to stop your clients doing this. Why? Why am I so against this? Well, let me explain just a couple of things that you guys already know as therapists that maybe you're not adopting in your practice. So, my version of coaching is what is called processing. After a session, even if it's just your basic script session, it might be some really deep therapy like what we teach in our Therapy First ACH programs. There is something that happens called processing. Once deep therapy has started, processing begins. Processing is how the unconscious mind breaks down old ways. If you've ever had therapy before hypnosis, you know that sort of groggy feeling you get where your mind's not quite clear. It's sort of like a lot of wheels and cogs moving around in your mind. Things seem a little bit different. You might go through an emotional roller coaster. One day you might be happy, one day you might be sad. This is processing. This is what you expect your clients to go through. And this is really the key to know, is the therapy I've just done, is it working? Processing lets you know that it's actually working. So it's how the unconscious mind breaks down old ways, old thinking, old emotions, old thought loops, etc., and rebuilds new things. We give the analogy of like a client going into a room where we lock them in the room and we tell them, hey, there's a whole bunch of new suits, shirts, jackets, pants, skirts, dresses, shoes, whatever it is. Go in there and find the best appropriate suit for you. Now, this processing can take an hour, it can take a day, it can take a week, it could take a whole month. But this processing is the most important part of any therapy intervention. But unfortunately, a lot of therapists interrupt this by giving clients coaching. I'll explain these things more. So during this time, you want to actually avoid interrupting this thing. Let the unconscious mind do what it's supposed to do. It has way more creativity than you as the therapist could ever suggest to your clients as far as getting goals set, to-do list, reaching a solution, all that sort of stuff. Let your client's unconscious mind rebuild them from the inside out. Don't interrupt it. We even go as far to recommend that you tell your clients to stop anything that involves deep thinking. That's right. I would tell my old clients that I used to have, and I tell the students as well to tell their clients, if your client meditates, tell them to stop. If your client wants to listen to audios, tell them to stop. If they want to do journaling or deep contemplation, tell them to stop. Processing is very fickle. It's very easy to interrupt it. There are things you can do to speed up the processing so they get this breakthrough quicker. Think of the breakthrough as they find the new solution that's going to totally transform their life. I'll talk about that in a moment, but you don't want to interrupt these things. All the above examples will interrupt this thing. Audios especially do not enhance the session. They're only there to interrupt processing. There is nothing you could put in an audio or a journal or any homework that would even come close to the power of processing. So just don't do it. Not only that, your clients rarely listen to it anyway. Audios do not enhance a session. Processing is where it's at. Processing is what keeps your client mind working and figuring out new solutions, and it will find the solution that best suits. If you start interrupting, it's like saying to the unconscious mind, hey, I know more than you. Let's have you listen or re-listen to this audio over and over with the suggestions that I gave through the session. Your client's unconscious mind is more intelligent than you believe it is, and it's more intelligent to know that it doesn't need the constant rehearsing of that suggestion, doesn't need constant reminders. Once it's in processing mode, let it go. Okay, so this, like I said, is how the unconscious mind breaks down old ways. So here's what to do instead. On completion of your session, forget about the coaching. And once you see processing beginning, you'll start to see processing during the session, which lets you know, hey, my client's in that room trying on the suits. The session's done. Let them go. You just want to increase that activity with what is called the correct processing chat. If you haven't learned this, I highly suggest coming along to our ACH training and we show you how to do this. This, bar none, is the most important part of the therapy intervention. No matter what the problem is, you have to understand processing and processing chat. Then you want to inform your client to go to bed and sleep. Sleep is 100% pure, uninterrupted processing and the best thing they can do. So at the end of my sessions working with lawyers, I would actually let them know beforehand that the best thing they can do after the session is to actually go to sleep. Can they do that? They usually let me know before the session anyway. At the end of the session, I'd finish up the session with the processing chat, and then I'd say, hey, the best thing you do is go to bed. How long can you go to bed for? And they say, well, I've got the rest of the day. I've said, great, go lay in bed, sleep. It's probably what they want to do anyway, because they're going to be mentally exhausted in ways of the way I've done the therapy with them. Let them go to sleep. Let the processing start. Those dreams are important. That uninterrupted processing where the client's mind starts to rejig things and reshape things is more important than 10 sessions in a row. It's more important than the audios and journals. No homework or audio or extra session comes close to this, and you'll interrupt and ruin all the work that you've done. Okay, so that's how I coach clients. I trigger the mind to coach them over hours, days, weeks, and months. I don't care how long it takes. Anytime I have my client do something conscious or have my client do something that involves deep thinking or listen to audio, I will ruin what their mind does better than 1,000 therapists all together working on one client could ever do. Plus, it requires no effort. It doesn't require you to prep. It doesn't require you to set up audios and give them to your clients or set up homework. It requires nothing. When I'm working with a client, I know they're ready to process, which is the most important part anyway. When I start to see that processing going on in their mind, that's the session done. That's them in the oven. I turn the oven on. Now I'm just going to wait for the cake to bake. That's another metaphor that we use. That's what it is. If I then say, okay, come back tomorrow for another session, if they're still processing, I'll interrupt that. No extra session will outweigh processing. Processing is the extra session. My client processes for a whole week. They might do, I don't know, 20 hypnosis sessions on themselves without me being there. And it's all going to be context based because it's the client. It's going to be in the right environment because they're comfortable. And most likely it's going to happen while they sleep, which means it's uninterrupted. Think of this as when you work with a client, you're triggering processing to start healing them. That's it. You're not solving the problem. You're not prepping anything. You're not doing any of that stuff. You're just triggering processing to start to heal your clients. It's like your client can go away and you can do hypnosis without you being there. That's what processing does. We've talked about this a lot in videos. So that's it, guys. That's how I would coach my clients, regardless of the problem. Doesn't matter who it was. I do not recommend you give your clients any conscious task. Get them processing. All right, guys. Hopefully that was informative. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.